it comes. Oh my goodness. In your life have you seen anything like that? There it is. A win for the ages. Is it his time?
And welcome back to another episode of the Putting It Straight podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything golf. I'm your host, and as always, I'm joined by my brilliant co-hosts, Simon Data and Tom Palmer. How are we doing, lads? You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Very, very good.
Yeah,
Brilliant,
I was better last week, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not lying. I'm not going to lie. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. I'm sure people will start to understand why.
This is going to be the longest 40 minutes of my life.
It's good. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. On that note, I mean, we had a brilliant event this week at Bay Hill at the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Fantastic to watch. Always a great event.
Yeah, brilliant. Love the golf course. And I think it was nice to see a bit of a tougher test this week. The players really seemed to have to grind it out a little bit, particularly on Sunday when the wind got up. So that was great to watch.
Yeah, weren't too many shores under par on Sunday.
No, it played tough. It was a day to just hang in there, which obviously Bryson managed to do in the end and got his victory. So really good to see. I mean, I think what we'll do to start off with, so if we get straight into reviewing the results from the predictions. So I know you've got some scores in front of you.
Some notable ones this week as well, and absolutely huge controversies as well, which we'll get into. And I'm really not happy about, but I've been overruled apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway,
how's that feel?
Oh god, how the turntables. Right, notable ones. We've had another winner. So 3 in 3 weeks.
Wow.
We've had the winner being picked. So Melissa picked Bryson. Plenty of research went into that, by the way. She really did her homework and decided that she liked his last name, so that's why she picked him. So clearly, I think that's what I'm going to start doing.
That's sound advice for anybody who's struggling to know who to go for. It's like picking a horse. Picking a horse. You can look at all the form, but if you're all confused, pick the name that you like. Go for it.
Yeah. So she picked the winner, got 10 points there. We had Jordan Spieth, Beth Lewis picked Jordan Spieth, came in second, got 8 points again. She's absolutely flying up the leaderboard. We had
Don't tell her that. I have to live with Beth. You realise that? She's going to watch this.
She's absolutely
caning today anyway, aren't you? You can see on your name in the bottom left corner. You've been a bit of a bet today. So.
Unbelievable.
Okay, there was quite a few on 6. Rory McIlroy was chosen, and right, let's just get into this right now. So,
here goes.
When we were talking about our picks for this week, we were asked, and I was under the assumption that we weren't allowed to have the same pick each. We needed to have a different person each. And
is this in the rule book?
You're also assuming that we've got a rule book now as well from somewhere. So that's what I assumed. And we were talking about the picks, and I said, I'll let Tom go first. I'll let him pick. And he goes, Rory McIlroy. And that's exactly who I was going to pick. And I thought, you know what? He's having a shocker. Cool. We're ripping him to pieces every single week. I'm a little bit worried about his mental health.
I should be standing up today anyway.
So you're trying to play the nice guy card here, aren't you, Simon?
Yeah.
I felt sorry for him.
So I thought I'd let him have Rory.
I'd let him have the pick.
Shocking.
Unfortunately, Simon, what the moral of the story is really, you should never assume because it makes an ass out of you and me. Nobody said that you had to change your pick. You volunteered to do that. So this is all come on by yourself, mate. You are on your own with this one.
No, this can't. No, this can't be happening. I have been cheated out of 6 points because I've got a conscience. I thought he's having a shocker, getting ripped to pieces every single week. I'll let him have him as a little goodwill gesture. And now he's leapfrogged over me, 11-point swing on the leaderboard, and he's 4 points in front of me now.
You love to see it, you really do.
Oh, so needless to say, my wild card really didn't come in.
Never.
Other than that, there was quite a few -5s. Some notables missing the cut. Patrick Reed missing the cut, which was quite a big one. Obviously, Mark Richmond, which we won't talk about.
Patrick Reed at the top.
Yeah, so I mean, now if we take a peek at the leaderboard, Victoria Mallet again is smashing it. She got 6 points this week, so she's on 20 at the top. Beth Lewis is on 18. A couple on 16, John Till and Carly Lewis. Dan Parsons on 14. Matt, you're on 12. Melissa's on 10. John's on 10. Andrew Cameron 9 with Julie Deakin, John Lee, Adam Johnson, Charlie Camper all on 8. Dale on 7, and then we've got quite a few at 6. Lewis, Paul, and Liz and Jane. Tim Hodson on 5. Tom Palmer somehow on 3.
How you've got
the
leaderboard now.
Coming back strong.
I told you, didn't I? I told you last week that I'm just going to gradually get right the way up to the top.
Yeah, all you got to do is steal other people's picks. That's it. And then myself, Rich Sharon Jones, and Rice are on -1. Richard Hunt on -5, and Ryan Brooks coming in last with -6. Had a bit of a shocker.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's painful. So just to review that, so between the three of us, what does our leaderboard look like?
So you are on 12, Tom's on 3, and I'm on -1. So there is a 13-point.
You knew this straight away. You didn't need to repeat it again, so.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. I was just interested to see what scores we got. I'm not competitive at all. I'm really not. You're making this up.
Ridiculous. If we could get his head just to inflate on this video, that'd be great.
Oh dear. But we had some brilliant talking points this week. So obviously we'll start with Bryson getting his victory.
Yep.
A few weeks too late for you, Tom. Yeah, but you didn't pick him, did you?
Not this way. I went for Rory.
No, but I mean,
look,
you can't deny it. Very impressive performance. The difference this week for him really was he did well on the greens. He put it a lot better this week. Which has been what was missing the last few weeks. I mean, the par save he made on, was it 11? Plugged it in the bunker and then hold a 40-footer downhill across the slope. That was, I think that was a really key moment in that round of golf for him. But I think it's important to also mention Lee Westwood. Really strong week this week, Tom.
Yeah, he was class, wasn't he, this week?
Yeah, really good.
Very good.
That guy's career is just something ridiculous. The longevity that he's got to be able to play at this standard and keep up with these players is insane.
Yeah, he said something really interesting in one of his interviews, actually. And he was saying that the thing about Bay Hill was because there was such a premium on driving the ball straight, it meant that even the bombers still had to hit the fairway. So it kind of brought him back into things. Whereas, on some of the golf courses where there's not as much rough, the bombers have that distinct advantage. So,
yeah.
And we touched on it in previous podcasts. It's one of those courses where the design is such where there is a premium on hitting fairways. So it brings your middle distance hitters back into the game. So that was really good to see.
Yeah, and I think that's testament to Bryson as well. The distances that he's getting out there in and of itself is impressive, but just how accurate he is with it as well.
Yeah,
it's mind blowing. Yeah.
Yeah, to have that control with that club head speed is really impressive. And people might not like the way that he's doing things now, but you can't deny that there's a huge amount of skill in being able to hit the ball that far and still. In fact, I actually think his driving accuracy percentage has gone up slightly compared to when he was hitting it shorter. So you have to take your hat off to him. What he's done has been superb. But
yeah, and we've actually got the clip of him that we could play over the top and just talk about his swing a little bit if you wanted to.
Jump into that.
So as you saw, obviously at Bay Hill, hitting it a long way was a huge thing. And the par 5 that goes round the water, which I think
that was such a cool hole. That was, wasn't it?
Such a cool moment. It was so good.
Brilliant. the crowd interaction and everything just made
Because when he was like celebrating it, weren't it, as well?
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth was like watching it as well. Did he see? He was on the different fairway, and they're all like turning round to watch, weren't they?
Yeah. He stopped both days and watched. That just shows how impressive it is if players at the top level of the game are stopping to watch what he's doing.
I think it's awesome. I think again there'll be some people sat at home thinking this isn't right. You shouldn't be able to try and drive a par 5, blah blah blah. But you saw the reaction of the fans. They loved it.
Yeah.
And for us sat at home, personally, I thought it was brilliant.
It's great.
It's something that you don't get to see, and you know, to have the confidence to say, you know what, this week if the wind's right, I'm going to take it on, and then
do it. Actually, hit the green, couldn't he, as well?
Yeah,
that's the thing. He could have hit the green,
particularly on Saturday. Saturday, it would have cleared to at least a third of the way up the green.
It was 377, wasn't it, or something crazy?
Yeah, something
hit it.
Ridiculous.
Something mad like that.
So we've actually got that swing. So the 377 swing. So this is taken straight off the PGA Tour's Instagram. So we're just having a quick look here. So we start a little bit soon with him already taking the club away. But you can see there just how much rotation he's actually getting. His right leg's starting to straighten, this left leg's kicking in. You can see that his left heel's coming up off the floor. He's unweighting, he's getting into his right side and now starting to sort of recenter. And we're having this huge stretch away from the ball. And now you can see when he gets to the top, just how much shoulder turn he's got and how much rotation he's got. And I think that's one of the main things that's impressive as well, is how bulky he's got. He's still got that flexibility as well, which is massively impressive. Yeah. So, I mean, as soon as he starts to come down, you can see he's had that huge stretch away, and now all his pressure is going into the ground and into that left toe. And pushing into the ground, squatting down, and what that basically enables him to do is then spring straight back up again as soon as he gets the ball. And that's essentially where all that power is coming from. So he's got all that rotation, and then he's got all that force going into the ground and then exploding back up again. And that's basically what's causing him to have such higher swing speeds now. And you can see if you watch now him coming into impact here, everything is moving up. His hips are moving up, his shoulders moving up, his hands moving up. Obviously, the club's heading on the way up to get that sort of optimal launch condition. Take a little bit of spin off, get it launching higher so it's going to travel through the air and roll further. And I mean, into the finish of the swing, you can just see how much torque there is. It's insane, like his foot's spinning out, just how much pressure has gone into the ground and going back up. It's a really impressive swing and a decent thing to watch. Hopefully that was a nice little insight into it. Anyway,
cheers for the little analysis there. So
they'll have me on Sky in no time. Nick Doherty's already in my DMs, and yeah, it's going to get sorted.
In fact, my phone's ringing now. It's for you, so it's Sky. They want you now.
Yeah, they want me. Yeah.
It was like a proper long drive, though, weren't it? It was like you were watching a long drive contest. It was that funny.
And Bryson actually said when he did it, it felt like it gave him the same feeling as winning a tournament. It was that ultimate kind of feeling of trying to do something and achieving it in that moment. But seriously cool. And that analysis is great. I mean, he's done so much work with Chris Como and Carl Berkshire, who's actually world long drive champion at the moment. So this isn't by fluke. It's not like he's just gone in the gym, put a load of mass on and just tried to hit it harder. He's worked on this. He's figured out with his team exactly how he's going to do this. And then on top of that, brought it to the golf course and put it into play. So
in the most pressured environments as well.
A few weeks ago, though, distance wasn't everything, was it? It was like hitting fairways and hitting greens.
And look, that is still true. And the one thing I will say about this is, look, Bryson's hit it long every tournament he's played this year. But the tournament that he's won has been the tournament where he putted best out of all those weeks. So he can hit it as far as he wants every week.
Oh, he loves harping on about putting, doesn't he?
Unless he puts well, he's not going to win.
I can't.
Maybe I've picked Bryson. Who knows? You'll have to wait and see. Oh, dear me. But no, I think if we move on to we've had another question this week, haven't we, Tom?
Well,
which I think is going to be a really good one.
It is a good question. It's a very good question. And the question is, who is the best golfer to never win a major? It's a very good question. And for me, I'm putting it out there. I'm going Lee Westwood. I think, obviously, fantastic player. He plays really well in the Masters every year, which has led to me putting a bet on him this year. So,
is this going to be one of those Alex Norris?
Good odds as well.
Yeah.
So good odds. But for me, I think Lee Westwood, fantastic player. I think the only reason potentially he's never won a major is just the fact that his putting can sometimes be a little bit ropey. But at the same time, he hits the ball so well and so consistently, and he's constantly around. Like, he's always performing well in competitions.
Well, I mean, we touched on it before, didn't we? Just how the longevity that he's got to be able to compete with these boys. And what is he, 50, 51 in a year's time? Was he 50 in a year's time?
I think so, yeah. He's creeping up on it.
Yeah. It's very impressive that he can still keep up with these boys.
What do you think is the reason that he's been able to sustain such a long career, Simon? Because we're in a game now where we've kind of moved into a bit of a power generation. There's some people kind of discussing whether players are going to have careers that are as long. And I think something that sticks out with Westwood is he doesn't really seem to have ever been injured in his career. But if you had to kind of pick a couple of things that have made him have the career that he's had, what would you kind of pick out?
Yeah, so I mean, I think in his career in the early days, I mean, he's got the driver on a string. I
love his drive. His little plays that he's got it just on a rope, penny.
Literally had. I mean, he had the same driver for a long time. It was the G10, didn't he, that he had for a long, long time.
Yeah, he didn't want to change that. He was very reluctant.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got his driver on a string. Everyone knows how good his irons are. And like you say, I think what has let him down is that he's putting his streaky sometimes. I know that he's put a lot of work into his putting, and he's made huge strides, and it's starting to get there into a place where it's supposed to be. And I think that's why he's performing well. But I think a huge part of it now is just the fitness side of things. He's plowed himself into the fitness side. He's probably fitter than he's ever been in his life.
I think that's fair,
yeah, he's constantly in the gym. They're constantly doing these Peloton competitions between them, the pros are. I think that's a huge contributing factor to him being able to play such good golf late on in his career and not getting any injuries at the same time.
Yeah, and I think he seems to be enjoying his golf a lot more now. I mean, I know he's got his wife caddies through him now, and he just seems very relaxed with everything. And I mean, to be honest, he was really unlucky not to win this week. Brilliant performance coming second. Only lost to Bryson by a shot. Obviously, he's not winning the States for a few years now, but a really solid performance. And I think, Tom, it's a great pick. It's so surprising that he hasn't won a major.
That's the first time you told me about a great pick. That
I mean, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
He steals them off other people. I've messaged him that whole script that he's done about Lee Westwood, and he's had to put it on the pod now.
What about you?
So for me, the first one that jumps out is Monty, Colin Montgomery. Such a fantastic player, known all over the world for how good he is. And to have never won a major is baffling, absolutely baffling.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Yes. Another one very similar to Westwood in that sense. Long career. Obviously, he got his senior Open Championship, but we're talking
on the main tour. Yeah, there was
the main tour.
Just I'm pretty glad I don't like him. I don't.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't like him at all.
Why is that then?
I remember going to the Belfry once and watching like an event, and it was only when I was young, and I'm sure like these two young kids are just like, he was about to tee off, but obviously he was just having a few practice swings, and they just walked round the back of the tee or something. I remember him turning around and just shouting at him, and I was thinking, who is this guy? Like, he put me off golf a little bit because I didn't play back then. Obviously, it put me off golf a bit because it was my first golf competition I gone to.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see.
Proper moody to him. I was just thinking, who's this?
Yeah,
he
they can
was
get like
known
that.
for having a bit of a difficult persona. I actually, similar thing. I remember being at the Belfry. I think it was when it was the Quinn Direct British Masters. And I remember, is it the 12th, the par 3 down the hill with the water?
Yeah.
There's
There's a little
I
creek.
think he's hit it over the back. He's chipped on 2-putt, made bogey, and he's walked off the back of that green, face like thunder. And what had happened was, you know, where they have the galleries with the ropes, and they bring the rope across to let people pass, and then they put it back across to let the players come through.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the marshals had kind of got the rope open quick enough. So Monty had to walk up to the rope and then wait for the crowd to kind of part. And he was fuming, just vile.
Joking.
Yeah, he's so do you know what I mean? I'm just like, nah, I ain't about that. Literally, have a bit of fun. Like, don't be so moody all the time.
Yeah, he's a difficult character. I think for me, probably a bit more of a modern day pick, but obviously he's had his struggles probably over the last 6 to 12 months. But prior to that, one of the best players kind of in the modern generation who hasn't won one is Ricky Fowler.
Yeah,
he'd been so good. I mean, obviously won the Players' Championship in 2015, I think, which obviously by many people is considered the 5th major.
Yeah.
And he had the season, I think it was the season before, 2014, which was the year that McIlroy won the Open. And Ricky finished in the top 5 of all 4 majors that year.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's just had this feeling like he's bound to win one at some point.
Always a bridesmaid, isn't it? That sort of situation.
Always the bridesmaid. And in the end, it's, you know, his 2 buddies out on tour, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, have gone and got majors before him. And I think there's an argument to suggest that that's maybe starting to affect him a little bit. He seems to have lost his way a little bit, but for a while there, he played some seriously good golf and had so many chances to winning majors. And really, it was very surprising that he didn't get one done.
I agree completely.
There's quite a few players that we can add to that list, isn't there? I mean, Ian Poulter is another one.
Postman.
Well, Postman in the Ryder Cup, and he's won WGCs. He's obviously won a lot of points in Ryder Cups and other events, but never a major. Tom, why do you think that is with Poulter? Why do you think he struggles to find his Ryder Cup form in majors?
Not too sure. He's always really good in the Ryder Cup, isn't he? He's always not proper egged on and cheering himself on, and obviously everyone gets, all the crowds are up. Maybe he just needs all the crowds to start cheering for him and he'll start winning. But
do you think he's a liked player out on tour, Simon?
I don't know. I've heard that he's not, but
have you?
I don't know. Yeah,
I've seen little snippets of when he's like talked to the crowd and stuff and made jokes with the crowd, which I think is quite nice. But I hadn't heard that he wasn't nice. Do you just not like anyone? Is that what it is? Is it just like a personal vendetta against all golf pros?
Tom doesn't like any golfers.
I do. Alexander Noren. Oh, let's get it right.
Because he did bits for you, that's why.
Yeah. I'm surprised you've not picked him actually yet, with him being your favourite golfer. Buying your time. Fair enough.
I've got to get up the leaderboard first before I start picking people like Noren.
Well, to be fair, you get 2 picks every week because you're going to steal mine either way, aren't you? So don't worry about it, mate. Nothing matters. No rules, doesn't matter.
I don't know what you mean. I think at this point, actually, we should mention, obviously, I know I got a bit of stick last week. I think it's only fair that we give a little bit of stick to our head greenkeeper, Dale, because he left 2 comments in the video from last week with his prediction. The first of which he went for Webb Simpson. And then he put another message in after realising that Webb weren't playing and said, actually, I'll have Louis Oosthuizen. And Louis weren't playing either.
So
Dale, do your research, please, for next
If we
week.
could have given you -10, we would have done, mate.
I was well. Should we do that? Is that harsh?
Come on.
Is it? Okay, we'll let him off. We'll let him off for this week. If it happens again,
not the way that you
-10.
weaseled out of a -5 last week, mate. We can't give him -10.
Actually, read a podcast over here.
I know, yeah.
Guys, it's all in the past. Let's not dwell on what's happened before. Let's just keep moving on, you know. And with that spirit, we will move on to our look ahead to the next event, which is the Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass. Impossible to talk about TPC Sawgrass without talking about the 17th hole.
Yeah.
Probably
iconic.
Would you say top 5 most iconic golf holes in the world? It's got to be, hasn't it?
Must be, yeah.
Without a doubt.
Has to be. I mean, so many brilliant moments on that green. So I mean, if you had to pick a favourite moment from 17.
One that actually really stands out, obviously I didn't watch it, but is the Freddie Couples after he's dunked his first tee shot into the water, repegs it up and then holds it for his par. It's incredible. It's just his demeanor, I think, about the whole thing. You know what Freddie Couples is like if he was any more laid back, he'd be horizontal. And
that's so true.
He just pegs it back up again, like he's completely unfazed, hits it in, gets a hole in one, and then just sort of struts to the green. That's it. Yeah, just drops the mic.
That's what I do.
But yeah, that's one that really sticks in my mind for sure.
Yeah, that is a cool one. I think for me, Tiger again. I don't think I watched it at the time. I would have been 8, maybe. It was 2001. But the putt that Tiger holds from the back of the green down the slope, I think the commentators saying better than most, and then it drops.
Yeah.
That putt's ridiculous.
Fantastic bit of commentary.
Yeah, unreal.
Mine's the same as yours, Matt, to be fair. It's got to be that Tiger one.
And that's the thing, like on that green as well, talking about Tiger and putting, I think it was last year or a year before when Kevin Na notorious for walking in putts and pretty much getting his hand in the hole before the ball's dropped.
Yeah,
walks one in front of Tiger, and then Tiger just completely replicates it and tries to get in there just as quick. Yeah, and that was a really good moment. I think something that you wouldn't have seen from Tiger years ago when he was in that zone and he talks about like the competitive mentality. You wouldn't have seen that before.
Any more news on Tiger?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Not at the moment. I think I know Bryson talked about him in his interview. Tiger sent Bryson a message before the final round, basically telling him to play boldly like Mr. Palmer. I mean, it's such a brilliant event, kind of with it being Arnold Palmer's tournament, and I think you could see with Bryson that it meant a lot to him, and obviously it's an event that meant a lot to Tiger as well. Won there, is it 8 times? I think he's won at Bay Hill.
Yeah, fantastic record.
So yeah, but I think you're right. It's that moment with Kevin Na is not something you would have seen from Tiger in his heyday. Very focused at the time, and then that was a really cool moment to see. But
it was nice to see.
I think the other moment, I mean, we touched on Ricky Fowler winning there in 2015 a minute ago, and in that win, obviously he had the brilliant run at the end of his round to get into a playoff, and he birdied 17 in that run, and then birdied it again in the playoff. And just took that flag on. Obviously, it's the flag that's tucked right in that front right corner. No green to work with at all. And squares it in between the flag on the right-hand side of the green. Just incredible to take that shot on. Seriously impressive. But here's a little trivia for you.
He must have pushed it. No chance he was going.
You reckon?
Yeah, he's pushed that. He's going centre of the green all day long.
Ooh.
He's stood over that shot and gone, oh no.
I mean, it is the play. It is the play to go middle of the green, and if you push it, then you've got away with it. But interesting bit of trivia on the 17th hole.
Love the stats.
You love a stat,
I'm so
don't
excited.
you? So the highest score recorded on that hole,
okay,
by Bob Tway, 2005, third round, he made a 12.
Ooh,
Painful score.
12
That, isn't it, on
shots.
the par three.
yeah.
That's painful, isn't it? That's seriously painful.
So what was it? Just water, 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 water.
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I
like
think,
Tom's worst shot from last week that he was talking about.
yeah. And I think I've not actually watched it back, but I think I remember it. Obviously, it gets brought up almost every year when they're doing the preview of TPC, and I think it was a combination of, you know, a couple coming up short in the water, and then a couple, you see it happen quite frequently. They overcompensate and go long, and it just bounces.
Yeah.
The back edge of that green is firm, lands anywhere
Shoots
near the back
straight
edge,
off,
and it's
isn't it?
gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, after the second ball's gone in the water, your head's got to be spinning.
That's it. Yeah, that's when you find out what sort of man you are when that second ball's going in the water.
It's like, I guess it's similar to that feeling when you tee your ball up too close to a slope that you don't know is there, and then your driver hits it on the way down. And you,
I can't believe Tiger did that as well. That's
does that one sound familiar?
just had to get it in. Yeah, had to get it in, didn't it? Old Patrick Reading got Bob Tway at the bottom as well, giving me grief.
I'm going to bring that up every week. I think it's one of my favourites.
I know it was not a good moment.
Let's get on to our picks then. Tom, we'll come to you first. Who is your players' champion for this year?
Well, he let me down lately, and I'm going to give my faith back to him. I'm going DJ. So he wasn't.
He's so
he
boring.
didn't play that well, but I've got confidence in him now. I think, you know what? He's put that's in the past. This is the present, and now he's going to just do his business and get me 10 points.
Is any of your picks been out of the top 5?
Or anyone that doesn't bother?
They're the ones that are going to be in. I know DJ is going to do bits for me, Tom. He's not missing cuts. He's going to be up there. I need to get up that leaderboard. I'm not picking anyone dodgy that could potentially get me -5 points.
The last time you picked him, was that in the WGC where he shot 5 over?
That was the Genesis. I think he missed the cut. Yeah.
Yeah, he did miss the cut. But this time, I'm feeling positive. This is why I'm going for him again, because he got me -5 last time, and this time he's going to get me 10. He owes me points.
I don't think DJ knows that you've bet on him twice, though. I don't think it's really a consideration.
I'll tell him next time he's at Sky. Sky over there.
You know what? I think that his jinx is actually still there, because every decent player he's picked has done shockingly. And last week, technically, it was my pick. So I think now he's had another genuine pick. He's going to have a stinker.
Well, to be fair, it was between DJ, Rory, and Bryson.
Yeah, of course it was. They're the only 3 people that you pick, right?
They're just so good.
At some point, Tom, are you going to move away from them? Because
I will, yeah. I think what I'll do is next week, I'm not going to pick anyone in the top 5.
Oh, so you're just going to pick number 6 on the world rankings?
No, I'm going to mix it up next week.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see.
I'm really excited. I mean, he's going to have to go home and do some research on what other golfers are there.
Don't worry. I'll be higher up the leaderboard at this point. So I'll have another -5 next week. So we'll be all good.
Yeah, I'm giving it a big one. I'm sitting in last at the minute. I can't believe it.
Who are you going for then, Si?
Yeah, go on, Si.
So
who you got?
My wild card went horrendously wrong last week. I was actually feeling quite confident about it at one point, but I'm going to stick with the same sort of thing. I'm going to go with Will Zalatoris. It's his rookie season, and it's his first time. It's his first time at the Players, but he has been so consistent, ridiculously consistent.
First time at the Players.
Yeah.
So this is risky business. You've picked a player that has never played the Players Championship before. He's not won on the PGA Tour, and you've got the audacity to sit there and say that his first PGA Tour win is going to be the Players Championship.
Listen to this guy.
He's at the bottom of the leaderboard as well. And he's coming out with picks like this.
I've got to make moves.
You are moving mad.
Man's moving mad. I've got to do something.
Man's is moving mad.
I just have to do something. Look, he's got tied for the most top tens this season, and it's his rookie season. He wants it, he's young, he wants to go out there and get it, and he's playing unbelievable golf. I can see him doing it.
You don't get 10 points for a top 10 though.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to this as well. That is going to be an interesting one to watch.
My eyes are on that leaderboard.
Tom, we might end up with egg on our face after slating him for this pick if he has a great week, but I don't know.
I feel confident.
That's a bold pick. That's like picking a rookie at Augusta to win. It just doesn't happen.
Augusta's a very different place, mate. It can happen at the Players. It can happen at the Players. I'd
be interested to. I want the stat on how many first-time winners there's been at the Players. We'll get that stat for next week.
Okay,
because that is
next week it won't matter because he will have already won. And
so
there wasn't one before he's the first.
At least you're confident in yourself.
You've got to be sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. It's all I've got at this point.
Fair enough. Well, look, I've gone for Tommy Fleetwood this week. So
he hits it straight and he hits the green and he gets good at putting.
I don't even need to move my mouth when I do my pick. Tom does it for me.
He's so predictable.
Same every week.
Go on, just tell us what you're going to say.
Yeah, go on then. What's the reason?
I mean, I wasn't actually going to go down that route. What I was going to say was he's not really had too much form, but he had a good week this week, or this week just gone at Arnold Palmer. And I just think that he's one of those players that when he starts to find his game, he strings a few weeks together. So I'm expecting another good week from him. It's all right. We've done that for everyone. According to us all, we're all getting -5. So
I'm not getting -5.
So yeah,
you're right. He hasn't shown much form, but he did have a decent week.
This is going to be his week.
It is, and you're right, Tom. He does hit it straight, and he does get a lot of greens.
And he puts really, really well.
Well, he's a streaky putter, isn't he?
To
be fair,
he is a streaky
putter.
So
it's one of those. If you can start holding a few putts early on, then you could see him having a good week. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one to watch. That's for sure. So look, guys, that is it for this week. What we do want to mention, obviously, Simon, you did a great job on our swing analysis of Bryson this week. And what we'd love is if a listener wants to have their swing analysed by us, then please contact us, either email us at puttingitstraightpodcast. Oh my God, Tom got it right. Well done.
What is it? puttingitstraightpodcast@hotmail.com or putting it straight?
Oh no, I got too excited too early.
So it's puttingitstraightpodcast at
gmail.com.
Gmail.com, that's what I said.
So close.
There we go. So email us or leave a comment in the video, and we'll get it arranged to have your video sent over to us, and we will analyse that. I
might not be able to do it because obviously I'll have contractual bindings with Sky at that point. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's nice to see that you're not getting carried away.
Me and Matt analyse this week next week.
Yeah. I watched a 1 minute clip of Bryson talking over the top of it, and all of a sudden
I'm looking forward to seeing what swing it is, to be fair.
Yeah.
You look a little bit like Simon Holmes. You've got the first name. You could do the job of Simon Holmes.
I look a little bit like him because I've got the first name.
That's basically the logic that went behind that. Yeah.
Nicely done.
So yeah. But anyway, yeah, so if you want to get involved, then please contact us, send us your videos. And of course, any other questions that you want us to answer, please contact us and get those in. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, then please do so now and hit that like button below. Also, we've got our social media accounts, Instagram, Twitter, @PutItStraight. So get following on there as well. But for now, Simon, Tom, thank you again. Very enjoyable as always. And we will look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Oh my goodness. you seen anything like that? There it is. A win for the Aces.